wider world. Please rise in body or in spirit for our morning song, number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. Please remain standing as Denise McCormack, our guest speaker, lights our chalice with these words from Anastasia Byrosh. The spark of love resides in all of us. We are free to act from it or not. If we choose to love, how will love shape what we do? If we choose to love, how will it improve our actions? If we choose to love, how will I treat those around me? If I choose to love, will I find it when life gets hard? If I choose to love, will you also choose to love? Love begets love, and it is love that lights our chalice. Please be seated. So whether you come here alone or in company, in joy or in sorrow, unsure or certain, seeking inner growth or outward action, you are welcome here. Each of us brings unique gifts and wisdom to our beloved community. Together, we can move mountains. If you're joining us for the first time today, once again, welcome. We are so excited that you're here. And we hope you'll join us for refreshments after the service, served by our wonderful hospitality team. If you're joining us on Zoom, please remember that you can turn on closed captions if that is helpful to you. If you wish, you can also stay after the service for our online virtual coffee hour. My name is Lisa Jacobs. I'm your worship associate today, and I'm joined by Joy Thiessen, our guest musician, Gabby Sachs, and our guest speaker, Denise McCormack. Denise is a storyteller, speaker, and facilitator who shares traditional, personal, and sacred tales to invite connection, reflection, and a touch of transformation. She brings deep care and creativity to each offering, helping listeners find meaning and resonance through the story. And now, as we settle into worship, I invite you to rise in body or in spirit for our moving meditation. So it's been a while since we've done this. For those of you who are new, there are arm motions that go with it. I'm going to read it. Follow along. By the light of the sun above, by the strength of the earth below, by the fire of commitment on my right hand, by the water of compassion on my left hand, I light my chalice within and shine its light out into the world. Thank you. Please be seated. So we create rituals that focus our attention on moments that are important but easily missed in our busy world. We may struggle to acknowledge the small joys or the subtle concerns that shape our inner landscape. As water and stone give form to the natural lands, so our joys and concerns shape the ripples in the sacred pool of our spirit. Each Sunday, we join in the ritual of silently dropping stones into a bowl of water as we honor our joys and concerns. Together, we honor the many ripples that lie in life that shape the sacred well of our community. I invite you to come forward up the side aisle and drop a stone of joy or concern into the water. If you're with us on Zoom, please type your joys or concerns into the chat box. Thank you. I drop one stone for the joys and concerns on Zoom, and I drop a second for the joys and concerns close to us but unspoken. Please remain seated as we sing Spirit of Life. Now it is time for our children to go to Summer Sparklers, the summer religious education program. Summer Sparklers is for children in preschool through 5th grade. Please make sure you signed your child in at the RE Welcome table, and if you're new to our church, that you've filled out the new family form. We'll sing our sending song through 3 times. The first time, we all sing together. The second time, the teachers step out into the lobby, and the third time, our children go out into the lobby.
Sometimes clarity comes not in lightning or thunder, but in a quiet moment. A child's question, a song we've sung 1,000 times without thinking, the silence between thoughts. Epiphanies are not reserved for poets and prophets. They appear at kitchen sinks, in parking lots, in the voice of a friend, or in a line at the grocery store. They slip in when we're distracted, when we've let go of trying to figure everything out, and when they come, however small, however strange, they leave us changed. They offer us a pearl if we are willing to pause and notice. Wisdom, it turns out, hides in plain sight. And grace, grace ever present, ever abundant, has a marvelous sense of timing.
Each Sunday, we share the sacrament of generosity. Sacrament has difficult connotations for some of us, And yet the dictionary says that a sacrament is a thing of mysterious and sacred significance, a religious symbol. In that respect, our weekly offering is a sacrament. In this moment in the service, we take a leap of faith. We each make a sacred gift of our funds, our time, our talents, knowing that we cannot sustain this church alone. We trust in the holy generosity of others to join with us, because together, and only together, can our beloved community thrive and serve our world. The offering will now be generously shared and gratefully received.
Hardships, but still manages to find joy in life. Alice works the desk at the East Bay Hotel in Grand Marais, Minnesota. I came in one night, she said, I loved your show. We sat and talked on the sofa. She's on her own since her husband passed away. Some surgeon screwed up, there's nothing left to say. Now she works this desk at night and the campground by day, in a trailer by the lake until the summer blows away. Read about the job in a camping magazine, and home was just a reminder. So she took the cat and dog, stored away her things, and left the bleakness behind her. And even now, through the ache of missing him, she's filled with wonder. On the lake in the early morning light, and talking books and telling tales, we sat there half the night. She said, the more I travel, the more I want to see. My kids want some settled life for me. I don't want to move somewhere and grow old quietly. The more I travel, everywhere to go, and there's everything that traveling has taught her. Moving marches down busy city streets, fantastic people she's privileged to meet. She dreams about Alaska, the snow so deep and white, and that little town in Texas where there's dancing every night. She said, the more I travel, the more I want to see. My kids want some settled life for me. I don't want to move somewhere and grow old quietly. The more I travel, the more I travel, the more I want to see. My kids want some settled life for me. I don't want to move somewhere and grow old quietly. The more I travel, the more
Good morning. I'm so happy to be here and to see everybody's happy faces. I can't begin to tell you. And so I thank you for having me here today. This morning, I'm thinking about those aha moments we don't see coming, the ones that change us, and I want to share with you a personal insight about the magic and mind-boggling magnificence of epiphanies. Sometimes they strike like lightning, sudden, electric, and clear. They seem to stop time, willing their message to evoke urgent and unmitigated attention. Of course, sometimes, in the madness of fight or flight, we don't pause, but it's there in our peripheral vision. It's left a mark. When settling down is too much to ask for, not even for the sparing of a thought, we might re-experience the moment in reverie. And sometimes, the message waits patiently until we're sleeping to get the word, the inspiration, in edgewise, ushered in with a hush, a rising swell from a deeper place, even led by the hand by a spirit guide or a meaningful dream. How often do we wake up in the morning with a resolution in sight? A knowing that we know that we know. And honestly, that should tell us, that should show us just how very much we are loved. That even when we are too busy or distracted to notice, the cosmic essence envelops us and wisdom perseveres and finds a way to reach us. Epiphany. A gift of wisdom, a gift of love. Today, I'd like to share with you a couple of those moments when wisdom found me. Moments that reminded me of the wonderful power that each of us has to reflect on and to ask clearly and openly for what we need. My story begins. Once upon a time, I was teaching English as a second language to a middle school class of special needs, bilingual students. There were about 35 students in the class, some who spoke Burmese, some who spoke Turkish. Most of them spoke Spanish, and all of them were at their beginning proficiency levels. So to ask a question like, what did you do over the weekend, or even what is your favorite food, was hardly going to return an answer simply because those things and how to explain them were done at home for these children in their home language and not in English. It was January, and January is a great month to talk about food. The names of food, how to prepare food, and how to use items in a kitchen. And now you're probably saying to yourself, well, what is so special about January? Well, in January, it came to my mind Maurice Sendak. In January, it's so nice while slipping on the sliding ice to sip hot chicken soup with rice. Sipping once, sipping twice, sipping chicken soup with rice. And believe it or not, January is National Soup Month. So I thought I would use that theme of soup to introduce my students to the vocabulary of foodstuffs, recipes, and processes, and a lot of good academic language, like compare and contrast, or ordinal and cardinal numbers, and the like. And this was a STEAM project. It had science, technology, engineering, art, and math, plus the ever-elusive English language. But this project wasn't without its challenges. The school that I was teaching in didn't have appropriate books for my students or other materials that they might need. But I had a healthy, robust relationship with the librarians where I lived outside of that district, outside of that school, who helped me pull together 80 different picture books that dealt with soup. And I also contacted the Department of Agriculture, who sent me placemats and coloring pages and food pyramid posters and video games and videos that all dealt with the food pyramid and food stuff. So we had plenty to work with, and for a month we talked about different kinds of foods and the processes that are used with them. When the end of the month had gone by and students were becoming fairly comfortable, it was my turn to what I thought would be to shine. I am a storyteller, and I love to tell stories. Not necessarily read them, but to tell them. And after this month of the work that the students had been doing, I thought, I am going to tell them a story. Well, all of the students were sitting in their chairs and paying great attention, cued no doubt by my excitement, my exuberance, and I began to spin the story of stone soup. Once upon a time, I said, there were 3 Russian soldiers who were returning from the war after giving up service to the king, and their way was long and hard, and they were tired, and they were hungry, and the only thing they had between them was a great big empty pot and a great big empty spoon. But lo and behold, up ahead on the horizon, they spied a village. Surely, said the soldiers, the people in the village will give us something to eat. So they reached a door. They knocked at the door. We are poor, hungry soldiers. Can you please spare us some food? The person who answered the door said, I barely have enough food for myself. Go away, go away. And he slammed the door shut. At the next house, an old woman peered through the door. Well, what do you want? Again, the soldiers asked for some food. Oh, go away, said the old woman. She slammed the door shut. And at the third house, the third door, things did not go much better. And by that time, everyone in that village knew what the soldiers were about and did not even bother to open the door. Well, the soldiers were pretty clever, and they scratched their chins and came up with a plan. They started a fire in the middle of the square, in the middle of that small village where everyone from their households would be able to see what they were doing. And they took that great big empty pot and they filled it up with water so it wasn't empty anymore. And they set it on that fire and they began to watch it simmer. And after a while, one of the soldiers stood up so that everyone could see what he was doing and dropped a stone into that pot. Now, while I was telling this story, one of the students in front of me, his name was Christopher, shot up a hand. And if you remember Arnold Horshack, and I would think a good fair amount of people in here know him, that is how my student raised his hand with urgency. And I looked at him and I said, please, Christopher, just let me finish telling the story. Please, just let me finish telling the story. And Christopher put his hand down, and I continued with that story. And I told how, after a little bit of time, one of the villagers came out to see what the soldiers were doing, and then another. And the soldiers looked at the person, they looked at each other, and oh yeah, this is going to be a really good stone soup if we only had some potatoes to add. And as I said this, up goes Christopher's hand. Please, Christopher, please, I'm almost done. Let me tell my story, Christopher, please. And he put his hand down. And I began to tell how other villagers came out and how the soldiers would say, oh, the soup is looking so good, but what it could use are carrots, and what it can use are salt and pepper, and what it can use are celery, and how each of the villagers went back to his or her own home and brought back not a lot, but what they could spare. And all of these things went into the soup, which became rich and smelled delicious and was thick and had so much in it that more water needed to be added. And in the end, this, everyone agreed, was the best stone soup any of them had ever had. And with that, Christopher's hand went up in the air, and I said, all right, Christopher, what is your question? And Christopher looked at me with his great big puppy dog eyes, being the only student in there who spoke English, and said, what's a stone? And I said, you have got to be kidding me. And I looked at the para, who is the bilingual special education assistant teacher in the room, who spoke Spanish. And I said, is he kidding? And she said, no, there is no word for stone in Spanish. And right there in that moment, it was like I was in a green screen room. Everything just seemed to freeze around me and hang in the air. And I stood there in this moment where the world seemed frozen, and I thought to myself, how dare I? How dare I have the hubris to presume that I know what someone else knows? And it taught me a lesson, but it was more than that, because even as I thought, hey, oh my gosh, I can't read minds, it occurred to me that other people can't read my mind either. And like a flood, images popped into my head all within this instantaneous moment of time, of the times where I got upset with people because they didn't give me what I needed or wanted when I needed it or wanted it, and how I had spent time pouting and being miserable because I thought nobody cared to provide for my needs in my family, who should be the people who love me most of all, who didn't give me what I obviously needed. And just then it occurred to me, oh, they can't read minds either. They don't know what I'm thinking. They don't know what I need. And I realized that if I want something or I need something, then I need to ask for it. And it was like magic. This light bulb went off. That asking gets you an answer. And even if it doesn't provide the thing that you are wanting, you at least know that you need to look in a different direction. Or maybe you get advice that that thing that you wanted isn't the best thing for you at that time. But when you ask, you truly do receive. I know that there are many of us who probably can remember a time when they uttered out loud, especially when people used to go shopping at the mall, "Oh, please give me a parking spot close to the door," even when every other parking spot in the parking lot looked full, and you ride up to the front, and lo and behold, it's like, "Oh, the parking spot is here for me." Or if you're in financial difficulty and you need a particular amount of money by the end of the month to get by for car insurance or something that's not going to let you have too much of a grace period, and you ask for it like, "I really need this," and a check comes that is a refund for something that you had no idea was even out there for you to cover the cost of that. Oftentimes, things just seem to come when we ask for them, particularly when we ask for guidance. And again, when we wake up in the morning, however we are connected to the interdependent web of life of which we are all part, our minds seem to find what it is that we need. There is a song that I would like to sing for you, and I'm sure that you are familiar with it, although I can't read your mind, but I'm going to say probably a good percentage of you are. And it's to help everyone to remember that and the wonderful and various serendipitous epiphanies that we are so often blessed with. So I want to give you something to take home with you to think about it. And I do have an explanation for this when I'm finished, but this is just an earworm. So, earworm for you. And I hope that you can all hear me. We'll find out. Is this good? Is this better? Better?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? My friends all have Porsches. I must make amends. Worked hard all my lifetime, no help from my friends. Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? Oh Lord, won't you buy me a color TV? Dialing for dollars is trying to fund me. I wait for delivery each day until 3. Oh Lord, won't you buy me a color TV? Oh Lord, won't you buy me a night on the town? I'm counting on you, Lord. Please don't let me down. Prove that you love me and buy the next round. Oh Lord, won't you buy me a night on the town? Oh Lord, won't you buy me a night on the town? Should I do it again so we can all sing? We'll do it later. Okay, let me come back up here. And thank you for singing with me. All right, so let's review this for a minute. Verse 1. Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz? On the surface, it just sounds like a plea for material wealth and social mobility, not to just keep up with the Joneses, but to best them. But the ask is more than that, different than that. In my mind, it's a metaphor. It's a plea for means and opportunity, a metaphor for movement direction, freedom, and self-worth. It's asking for equity and love, ability and opportunity. It's also saying, and this has been a more recent revelation in my mind, that we need to ask for what we need. Worked hard all my lifetime, no help from my friends. But nobody says that you have to work that hard. Nobody says that you have to do it all alone. It's okay to accept charity. Charity, after all, is love. Ask for love. Take the love. Love is good. With verse 2, "Oh Lord, won't you buy me a color TV?" Think about it. Especially today with the influence of media. Social media, news, movies, commercialism, rampant consumerism, all of it. That's what we get from TV. It's not merely a color TV. It's a means of coloring how each of us sees and digests or interprets the world. In this verse, we are asking for awareness, insight, and truth, discernment, and means to search for truth and meaning. The color TV becomes a metaphor for seeing the world clearly with all its complexity and acting with compassion toward it and toward ourselves. We aren't called to sit around waiting to consume, waiting to be handed someone else's viewpoint. We are called to produce, to question, to act, to exercise a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, to explore our own beliefs and values rather than adhering to a fixed dogma. Verse 3. "Oh Lord, won't you buy me a night on the town?" It's literally acknowledging the importance of creating a social life supported by peers, of creating a support structure. We are asking for a need to be fulfilled, the need for community and connection to satisfy the longing not to be alone and to be part of something joyful and shared for the greater good. A welcoming, accepting, and loving community. We are a welcoming congregation. An epiphany. We need to ask for means and opportunity, truth and wisdom, community and connection. And we will have an answer sprung from mercy, love, charity. It's all the same, and it's already there. It's there for the asking. It's here for the taking. Prove that you love me and don't let me down. Oh Lord, won't you buy me a night on the town? Epiphanies are a gift to us all. Ask and ye shall receive, seek and ye shall find. Remember, wisdom often hides in plain sight, waiting for us to pause, to ask, and to listen. Blessed be, amen, absolutely.
Thank you, Denise. That was inspiring. Please rise in body or in spirit for our closing hymn, 118, This Little Light of Mine. Please join me in our benediction as Denise extinguishes our chalice. For those who come here seeking God, may God go with you. For those who come here embracing life, may life return your affection. And for those who come to seek a path, may a way be found and the courage to take it step by step. Blessed be.